Right, hey guys, my name's Julian. In this video what I'm going to be showing you is how I turned this horrible unused space in my workshop into the sick adventure wall you see behind me, all in just over 48 hours. So the 48-hour design challenge is one of the most requested video series I get on my channel. The big difference I wanted to bring in this year is the spin to win wheel. So the basic premise of this is I'm not going to go into this video knowing what I'm doing, what part of the bike I'm working on, nothing. So spin the wheel, see where it lands, and that's our starting point for the 48 hours. It's going to be a little bit scary, but yeah, it should bring out some cool results. We'll see. So without further ado, let's spin the wheel, see what happens. Hopefully it's something cool. Racks. Bike racks it is. Could be some kind of storage solution, could be something to carry the bike on the car. I'm not sure yet. I think the best thing we're gonna do, a bit of brainstorming, get into it, eh? Okay, so this has pretty much stumped me. Can't think of anything, every rack's been made. But I'm thinking like an adventure French cleat wall. You can organize the whole space with bikes and helmets and skis and everything all in one space. It's used quite a lot for, you know, storing tools and that, but I think it'd be pretty sick to do something as a, you know, adventure wall. So what solution is a French cleat? Essentially what it is you've got a piece of timber on the wall that runs horizontally with a little 45-degree chamfer, and then you've got the opposite 45, and when they fix into the slot on the wall, the weight is then below that 45 of the object, and that's what keeps it on the wall. What's really cool about it is that you can then slide that fixture anywhere you want along the wall and it'll sit exactly where you want. Pretty cool, right? I've got 3 full sheets of ply and then a whole lot of offcuts, so I think I can do kind of this space here. This is pretty much a nothing space that you would never have seen in my videos, but I'm thinking, yeah, all my gears, my bike, my skis, helmet, the whole lot up on the wall. So I'm cladding the base surface with a 12mm ply. Before I did that, I had to go in and just make sure all the cables and everything were in the wall, and then I just took it outside, ripped a normal sheet with a skill saw and a hard rule, and yeah, chucked it up. A real nice little thing to do in between each sheet going up is just run a plane down the edge of each sheet. This gives it a little, almost like a little indent, and won't leave a sharp edge in between your 2 sheets. Real nice little detail. Sweet, so the timber wall's up. I've probably wasted pretty most of the day doing this. Lots of messing around, hiding cables, all that jazz. Now I'm gonna cut strips. This is pretty straightforward. Cut strips and then split them in half at a 45. That'll give me all my French cleat base and screw them all on. I have been printing some of the pieces while we're doing this, so that hopefully it all lines up towards the end of tomorrow when time runs out. So at first I started ripping these sheets on the table saw, like what you see in most videos online. To be honest, doing it by yourself and with the table saw that I've got, that's an absolute nightmare to use. It really just wants to cut your hand off. I decided to do this with a skill saw on the ground with a nice straight edge. I would cut one straight, flip it to 45, cut the next at 45, flip to straight, then flip, all the way until I ran out of timber. Next I was able to screw everything up onto the wall. What I did was start from the middle, because that's the only place that I wanted the slats to line up with. What I would recommend is starting right from the bottom, because that way once you got one, you can put little spaces in and just work your way up the wall. For me, especially doing it by myself, as I moved down the wall, it was far more difficult. So unless you really want one of the cleats to line up with a certain part, which I did on that corner, I highly recommend starting at the bottom and moving your way up to the top. Day 2 was a little bit more hectic. I quite quickly realized that I only had about 8 hours left in the day to get everything done. Lots of work today though. I'm going to be kind of prototyping and making final ones at the same time, kind of a mixture of the two, and then hopefully by the end of the day it's all covered in stuff. I've got to get my bike, I've got to get skis, helmets, shoes for riding shoes, ski boots, What else? Jackets, bags, that kind of stuff. I gotta get that all on the wall. Pretty stoked with how these turn out. They're just 3D prints in PETG. The little mountain motif in there. So you can move them around whenever you want, and then bang your helmet on it. Choo. Like you can see in this first video of mine, you can pretty much make all these things with either a skill saw, a jigsaw, and a hammer. Yeah, just don't let me using the 3D printers and the CNC router deter you from actually trying to do this, because to be honest, it's pretty easy without them. I was just doing it to save a bit of time and to put a few nice little graphics on it. So yeah. So I think the ski rack one is probably my favorite out of all the ones I've built. It's literally just 2 pegs sitting out of the wall. What's really cool is that you could use it for other things that you want to hang, like coats or jackets or anything like that. The only thing that I can kind of think about this is that it might be a little bit different for each set of skis. You know, mine are quite wide. But yeah, pretty cool, and also nice spot to put a little bit of graphics in. Alright, so I've got 2 hours left. The wall is looking alright. I've got helmets, skis, shoes, maybe spot for some bags. The only thing I haven't done is the bike rack. It's, to be honest, the one that I've just in my head can't quite figure out. Got a small plan. 2 hours left in this challenge, so I just got to smash it out, see what happens. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, we'll have to try again next time, eh? Ideally, I think what I'd use is one of those kind of store-bought ones where I could bolt that to it, but the solution I came up with is quite cool. It's just simply a dowel through a piece of plywood, and I was able to put some cool graphics on it. And what's nice about this one is that the bike itself locks to the wall almost. When my bike's here in the shed, it doesn't really need to go anywhere or come off that often. Yeah, it actually works pretty well for me. And of course, this coming down to the wire with wanting to get these concepts all done for this video, the very last cut, which is just so painful. Done. Pretty happy with that. I got done what I wanted to get done within that little 48-hour challenge thing I put on myself. I guess that was just to, you know, prove the concept, and I think the concept works pretty well. I still want to do a bit more on this before I finalize it, so these aren't the final shots. I might work a little bit on it tomorrow, get it working really nice, but I'm stoked. So in this one, it really did come down to the wire with all the stuff that I wanted to do. What's cool about this challenge was being the spin to win one. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I also had no idea how I was going to kind of come up with and solve a solution. I haven't seen anything like this before, and I am absolutely stoked with how it turned out. For the next few days, I thought, you know, now that the concept's proved, the 48-hour challenge is done, all the pressure's away, I just tutu and put through a few other little bits to just make it, you know, that next level adventure wall. So what I did was I took my hoon box, I made that clippable onto the wall. Also, what I wanted to add was a nice shelf up the top with some downlighting. When you make one of these shelves though for the French cleat, just make sure that the level of your shelf is below where the French cleat is. So you do need to have a little bit of an upstand. If you don't put it below the French cleat, what's going to happen is it's actually going to tip and pull it out of the top of the wall. So just a little thing to think about. The last thing I wanted to do, and I checked with you guys on Instagram which you'd prefer, I wanted to put a little logo of some kind. I haven't quite nailed down what I'm going to call the shed. Put something up on Instagram, just let you guys poll it up on Shred Shed versus Studio Shed versus all sorts of stuff, and this is what the main vote. So for now, this can stay. But if you have any other ideas of what to call the studio, just let me know down below, and maybe I'll do another poll later. So after all that, 2 days of concept development, another day of kind of finishing touches, there's nothing left to do but to have a good look at it. Enjoy. But yeah, other than that, pretty stoked on how everything turned out. I'm super happy with the wall. It's been a couple weeks now, and yeah, it's nice to have everything out the way. The plan obviously going forward is to do the whole shed, have every wall that can have a French cleat, and have all my space kind of organized for once in my life. Going forward, if you want to see more of these videos, make sure you let me know down below if there's anything you'd like to see, anything you thought I missed that needs to be in here. Thanks heaps for watching. You guys have been awesome, and I'll see you guys next time, eh? Good boy, baby.